Can Kreese be redeemed? Welcome to another video, ladies and gentlemen. This video is going to be quite a juicy one. A lot of topics to cover, a lot of things to say. So buckle up, grab some popcorn, grab some alcohol, grab some munchies, and settle in. Now, on the subject of redemption, this is a theme that I've covered many times on my channel, and it's always going to be one of my favorite character arcs, because when you apply it to your own life, no one's perfect. We screw up, we make mistakes, and the redemption arcs that characters go on show us that no matter what we've done, we can always make the right choice in the end. And obviously, there are levels, you know, we're not going to go and do certain things and live to tell the tale. That's just, but you know what I mean. You can apply it to your own life in a different way. Now, on the subject of redemption characters, I don't like it when just because a character is redeemed, they are killed off. I think that is unnecessary. So yeah, overall, I just think it's a waste. I feel like the characters have more to offer than just killing them off and wasting them. But I feel like Kreese is in line for a redemption that ends in death. Let me explain. Kreese is a character that has, from all the flashbacks and all the detail we have been given thus far in Cobra Kai, I know I've been sort of, you know, people sort of like it, some not so much. I've compared Robby to Anakin, and they are essentially on the similar kind of story. But if we want to take the specifics of Darth Vader, there's one character that applies to, and that's Kreese. Anakin Padme, Kreese Betsy, war changes him, becomes back a different person. Like that, there's a lot of parallels there, there's a lot of themes. And Darth Vader at the end of his life, saving his son, dies and is at peace. Who is a son to Kreese in this show? Johnny. And that's where I feel like Kreese's redemption is key. It's Johnny. It's going to involve Johnny and Robby, or both, or either one of them, and maybe even Tory. Those three in particular are going to be what leads to Kreese's redemption. Our boy Tory coming back changes the whole dynamic of this show at its fundamental core. And I believe it was Ken Cole who did a video on it, and he phrased it perfectly. Silver coming back, while it's great for Kreese at the moment, could prove to be a double-edged sword in the long run. And in the breakdown that he did, he brought up some very good points. Silver is very supportive of Kreese. He's very encouraging, but almost to the point where Kreese could have changed everything for himself until Silver put him right back on that path. And I feel like that is going to be key. As long as Kreese plays ball with what Silver wants, Silver's there. As long as Kreese starts to maybe lean slightly to one side, Silver's going to start to pass judgment, ask questions. What are you doing, Johnny? What's going on with you? And I think Johnny, ironically, is actually key to that. I think Johnny is going to be the driving wedge between Silver and Kreese. I think for most of Season 4, if not all of it, Kreese and Silver are going to get along like two peas in a pod. I think that they're going to get along perfectly. But I think there's going to be a seed planted at the end of Season 4 where these two are going to have conflict. There is going to be something that plants a seed between these two, and I think it's Johnny. I think Johnny is going to be the defining... He's going to be the defining factor in Kreese's redemption. Kreese, for the whole show, the whole the whole thing, has looked at Johnny like a son, and Johnny has looked at him like a father. In a sort of dysfunctional way, but the bond is there. And I feel like in a moment of where push comes to shove, I know Kreese, you know, tried to basically kill him at the end of Season 3, but I feel like if Kreese is standing there watching someone try and kill Johnny, that might be his sort of quote-unquote Hawk moment to step in and save who he sees as his son. I.e. why he has Robby. He sees Robby as his grandson, the next in line. 3 generations of Cobra Kai working together. It's there. Something is there. And I didn't know how I was going to feel about it, because if I was going to bet on any character to die, it would be Kreese. Silver, I think you could probably get away with locking him up and leaving him in a mental asylum somewhere way out in the middle of nowhere. Like, take that raft from Marvel, the raft where they keep all the prisoners, just put him there. But I feel like with Kreese, he's got that kind of story where there is a reason the character who redeems dies with their redemption stereotype was started, because they're characters like Kreese. Now again, I don't like it when certain characters are killed off after their redemption, because it's a waste. I've talked about this many times, and I need to ask you guys this question again. would you be as excited, right? If Cobra Kai was a traditional Hollywood movie or show, would you be as excited for season 4 if after Hawk saves Dimitri, he dies? Because that's what would have happened. In a traditional movie or anything else, Hawk would have died 100%. Because it's the easy way. It's a cop-out. We don't know what to do with this character now that they've switched sides, so we're going to kill him. And I'm so glad that the show... Obviously, I mean, they were never going to kill Hawk, but you know what I mean. The example still holds weight. That we are more excited for season 4, because where does Hawk go from here? Like, he has his arc next season is going to be something I am so looking forward to. I genuinely think he might have the best next season. I can't wait to see it come to fruition. But that's a case of where he's younger, he's got more story to tell, similar to Ben Solo. You kill Ben Solo off, it's a waste. Ben Solo was younger, he had a lot more to atone for, and it would have been interesting to have him wander the galaxy, repairing his sins. But people like Kreese and Darth Vader, they're men, they're guys who have been through so much over the years that they're just at their time. They're at their time where they just want peace. And I wouldn't be surprised if throughout season 4 you just see this journey that Kreese goes on. Now that Tory is going to be much more of a regular in season 4, I hope we really get to see a lot of her arc come to fruition. You're going to see Robby really sort of bonding with Kreese. I really feel like Robby and Johnny, the friction between these two is going to be bridged by Kreese. I think Kreese is going to be the one that brings these two together, because there's a commonality there. Johnny looks at Kreese like a father. Robby looks at Kreese like the father he never had. It goes hand in hand, and I feel like this ties into Robby's redemption. Now, whether Kreese redeems in season 4 or not, it's anyone's guess. But I think if he is to redeem, his one doesn't end with a happy ending. It ends with a bittersweet ending. And I know, people say it's contradictory to what I said of killing redemption, but again, context, nuance. Certain characters reach a point where it would be so much more effective and powerful, especially emotionally, if they reach a specific point where you kill them off, but they redeem doing an act of self-sacrifice. There's nothing more beautiful, especially with regards to someone like Kreese, who is so far gone from the war. He still feels that he's the man who went to war that never left the battlefield. He's still there. In his mind, he's still in the battlefield. When he recruits Kyler, it's like he's recruiting soldiers. When he gets Robby, it's like, oh, I've got my champion. When he gets Tory, it's like, oh, I got another champion. He still feels like he's in a war. And he's going to die a soldier's death, doing what he signed up for to begin with. Young Kreese wanted to be a hero. That could be paid off. Now, you could say, well, could Terry Silver be redeemed? I don't know. I do not want Terry Silver to be redeemed. The reason why is there needs to be a clear villain. Terry Silver coming back is more than just, hey, Johnny, I'm back. Hey, Danny, I'm back. It's more than that. He is the next level above Kreese. If you watch Karate Kid 3, Kreese is still a villain for all intents and purposes, but Silver is a villain. He is a straight up villain, and there is nothing redemptive about him. Not anymore. The war has affected him and Kreese so much that Kreese has the seeds within him to redeem. He always does. He's got his love for Betsy, he's got his love for Johnny, and now potentially Robby and Tory. Being like the elder figure that they need to sort of guide them through life and help them and be there for them. Silver, on the other hand, got worse. He became a corrupt businessman. He's a good negotiator. He gets what he wants. He has a bunch of yes men around him, and he doesn't believe in the word no. He is literally the emperor. He's literally the emperor. Kreese does things like the emperor, like manipulating people or bending things to his will, moving the chess pieces like the emperor would. But Silver is very much the definition of the big bad. And I feel like that is the double-edged sword. Is you think Kreese is the villain? Wait till you see what they do with Silver. Silver is going to be the long-term villain of this show. And if Kreese redeems at the end of season 4 and dies with that redemption, then, man, that just raises the stakes for season 5. Because then Silver's going to think, right, because of you lot, my best friend is now dead. So it raises the animosity there. It makes it personal. And this is the problem that I have with this show. And it's not necessarily a problem, but it's more of a, I don't envy the creators at all. They have to keep one-upping themselves every season, and season 3's finale was so amazing. It was so brilliant. I don't know how they're going to top it. I mean, obviously they know how they're going to top it, but just seeing how that all came together, it's going to be nuts. And it's just going to be so interesting to see how it all comes together, and just the way it all goes, and what it sets up for future stories. We know that 6 seasons is roughly the roadmap, and for me that's a solid 6 seasons. You know, you don't want to overdo it, because we've seen from shows like Game of Thrones, for example, where 7 seasons strong, final season, train wreck. Or so I've heard. I'm not a Game of Thrones fan, but I have heard that is the general consensus, that you can ruin these things the longer you do them. So I want them to just make sure that, you know, just keep following your roadmap, keep telling the story you want to tell, and we're all along for the ride. And I love this show. This show is a breath of fresh air, right? And all these sequels and reboots and remakes that don't land and are terrible, this show delivered. This show was an absolute breath of fresh air that respects the original, pays homage to the original, but takes the old characters, not just kick them out like a latest trilogy that we've all seen, not just kick them out, it brings the old characters back, integrates them with the new characters, and it pushes both of them forward while passing the torch. So characters like Miguel, characters like Hawk, Robby, Tory, Sam, Dimitri, these guys, they are the next. The torch is being passed to them as we speak, as the show progresses. These are the next in line, and this is the natural progression of how you're supposed to do it. Johnny and Daniel and Kreese and potentially Silver are passing the torch to these guys, but they're doing it in the right way. They're taking their time with it. They're building up to it. They're making us fall in love with the new characters. They're not just kicking the old ones out and then, oh, that's it, they're gone now. No, we're falling in love with the new characters as well. Regardless of what you may think of one character or another, I think we can all agree, most characters we all genuinely root for, or we understand, or we care about. And that is the mark of a great story. But to go back to the original topic, if Kreese redeems, I feel like it will be at a cost. I feel like there is a price that needs to be paid if he redeems, because Cobra Kai, you know, look, you can talk about how unrealistic the policing is, you know, home invasion and the school fight, but that's just like cartoony fighting. Other than that, it still has a degree and an element of realism to where characters get hurt and characters die. Like that is very much integrated within this universe, all the way to the movies. And it still holds true in the show. And I feel like there is a price that needs to be paid if Kreese redeems. And, you know, if he redeems and he lives, then that will be interesting. But I just don't see a world where Kreese gets, you know, like, could you imagine Kreese, you know, chilling with Daniel going, yeah, let's grab a coffee, you know, let's talk about your dealership. No, I can't see that. Can't see that at all. That just, for me personally, I just feel like there is a lot of potential there for a really emotional scene, whether it's in season 4 or in the future, where Kreese has an act of self-sacrifice to save someone else, and then that is the catalyst for Robby and Johnny to come together. That is the catalyst that will bring them two together. Because no matter what Silver and Kreese do to Robby, you know, i.e. they might, similar to Hawk's arc when he started kicking out the students, it raised conflict within Hawk, but it wasn't what drove him over the edge. What drove Hawk over the edge was what Hawk was doing to his own friends. That's what drove him over the edge. And Johnny was the one that sort of just pushed him the rest of the way with his speech, you know, at the end in the school. For Robby to come back to Johnny, or to go to Johnny, because he's never been back with him at all, or to go back to Daniel for all intents and purposes, there needs to be something so powerful that sends him back, that Daniel and Johnny can really sort of, especially Johnny, can really feel and empathize with him on. This could be the key. This right here. And it could potentially be that Kreese's death is what brings Johnny and Robby together. And then fast forward, however many years from now, Johnny and Daniel, they're literally at the end of their rope, or maybe they've passed on, and we're with an older Miguel and an older Robby, and they're the new in line. And Kreese is sort of like, not necessarily a Miyagi, but he died doing the right thing in the end, which is what he set out to do. Remember, the whole reason he went to go and join the army was to defend his country and be a hero. And to make Betsy proud, and to make anyone else proud that he had left. That was his original intention. And obviously the war changed him and it became lost. But he could have a similar moment like John Walker did in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, where it's a moment of remembering, what would Lamar want me to do? Now obviously if you haven't seen that show, I'm sure some of you already have. I've seen you guys in the chat sometimes talking about it. In the moment that John Walker has his little redemption moment, he sort of just comes to a moment where he's just conflicted, the same way Hawk is in the house fight. It's so similar. And then he remembers who he actually is, who he was before everything. That's what Kreese will do. Something like that, where he'll remember why he wanted to be a soldier in the first place. What would Betsy want him to do? And then obviously that is going to send Silver right the other way. And then Silver has the platform then to be a big villain and a big bad. And before I end this video, I know people have asked me, do I want Mike Barnes back? Yes, 100%. Do I want Mike Barnes working with Silver? No, I do not. I feel like there is a lot of potential there for Mike to be absolutely resentful towards Silver. I feel like there's a lot of potential for them two to absolutely despise each other. That would be a good avenue to explore after Kreese's potential death. That would be a good route to go. Now again, I have no idea if they're going to kill Kreese off, but this is something that was brought to me, and it's something I've been thinking about a little while. I just feel like there's so many parallels between Kreese and Darth Vader that it's uncanny. And I feel like what makes Darth Vader's redemption so powerful is he saves his son's life. What better way for Kreese to go out than save Johnny or Robby? That right there. That could be the moment. Guys and girls, jump in the comments section down below. Let me know what you think. And, you know, I know this is going to spark some debate. Because I know people want Silver and Terry to be best friends forever and all that. And I think for most of all of season 4, you're going to see that. But I feel like there's going to come a moment where these two are going to clash. There's going to be something that drives these two apart. And I feel like the seed will be planted at the end of season 4, right? The seed will be Robby's redemption, Terry and Kreese going at each other's throats, and, you know, Cobra Kai winning, and potential future plot lines. That's what the seeds will be. And then they'll be paid off in season 5. That's what I could see happening. So guys and girls, jump in the comment section down below and just let me know what you think. This has been a really sort of deep dive video. I wanted to talk quite a lot about it. I wanted to really go into detail as to why I think this is going to happen and the way it will happen. And again, I could be wrong. None of this might even happen. Kreese might just end up dying, or he might just not die at all, or he might not even redeem at all. You know, it's completely possible. There's things that have happened in this show thus far that no one has called. I think I'll draw all of your attention to when the season 3 trailer came out, the first one, and Tory walks into obviously what is the back of golf and stuff in a back sort of room. Everyone thought it was like an underground fight club. Like, no, it wasn't the case at all. So you never know. We're in for some curveballs, unpredictability, and I'm all for it. But this is something that I feel like would hold a lot of emotional weight. And if they do this, I think it's going to really sort of, you know, the scenes that they've planted between Johnny and Kreese throughout season 2 and season 3 will really pay this off. Especially the scene in season 2 where Johnny goes to, you know, he's following Kreese, and Kreese is staying at that motel, like, you know, not the motel, just basically a homeless shelter. And him and Johnny have that heart-to-heart conversation. I don't think Kreese was actually acting there. I think he was being honest and he was being sincere. But in his own way, in his own sort of twisted way. And I feel like scenes like that really set this up. And if Kreese is about to die, he's going to remember scenes like this. He's going to remember flashbacks of maybe a young Johnny and teaching young Johnny how to, you know, strike first, strike hard, show no mercy. And then Johnny will remember the same. You know, how you were sort of the father that I never had. You know, there's a lot of family, you know, a lot of, you know, cue the Dominic Toretto line. It's about family. There's a lot of family ingrained within this story. And I just think it's so great the way they're going. Guys and girls, I'll see you in the comments section down below. And do you have a problem with that?